Hello manager, glad to see you here. Do you find it hard to pass an interview for an IT project manager role? So, are you following outdated advice on how to answer common interview questions that is stopping you from getting a job offer? Well, there is a strong chance that you are, because I've mentored hundreds of project managers, and most of them make the same three mistakes that put them in a bad light. But when you fix these mistakes, you quickly notice that you'll finally start positioning yourself as a great IT project manager, capable of leading any IT project. So, I'm going to show you how to use a proven strategy to answer any interview questions for a project manager role. And sticking with this simple approach helped me land job offers from Amazon and top tech startups. If you are new to this channel, I'm Dmitry Nizhbetsky, the author of Practical Project Management book, and I'm going to help you become a great IT project manager. Let's dive in. Believe it or not, you can ruin your chances of passing an interview right in the beginning. 99% of interviews start with the same question. Tell me about yourself, or its variation. And I totally get it. It's a direct question. Everyone tells you it's your chance to display your versatility and vast range of experiences. So it's easy to fall into this trap. But if that were true, then the person with the most diverse experience would always get the job, right? And we both know that's not the case. In fact, if you keep holding to this belief, you could lose lots of job opportunities. But do you know how great IT project managers answer this question correctly? And I personally follow the same simple three-step process. First, identify the three most critical requirements or qualifications from the job description. Second, select three stories from your whole experience that connect with these requirements. Third, prepare a short story that teases the interviewer to dive deeper into your experience. The benefit of this approach is that you kill two birds with one stone. You position yourself as a great match for the role, and you give conversation starters that allow interviewer to explore experiences you want to highlight. I have a full video on how to prepare a perfect answer to the "Tell me about yourself" question, so I won't dive too deep here. I'll leave you a link in the description, along with some resources that can help you become a great IT project manager. Okay, let's assume you have nailed the "Tell me about yourself" question. Now you move to the second question on the interview. This second strategy is so critical that it doesn't matter what question you actually get. All great project managers apply it and ace the interview. And here's the secret. What if I told you that a fisherman is the best person to answer interview questions for an IT project manager role? And now you might be thinking, how is it even possible? How is it even relevant? Let me explain. Once I was interviewing a candidate, he was answering all questions correctly. It felt like he knows the theory and had hands-on experience. We talked for 45 minutes on various topics, but after the interview, when I was writing a review on him, I stumbled. Something wasn't right. You see, I couldn't recollect the size or duration of the projects he mentioned. Did he even mention any numbers? So I reached out to recruiters and asked them to clarify this point, and it appeared he managed only really small short-term projects, but he was able to talk about them as if they were huge. Obviously, with additional context, his answers didn't make sense and were very hard to believe. And that's exactly why you need to be like a fisherman. So, have you ever heard a story from a person who likes fishing? What do? First of all, they always tell a full story. But what's more important, they always support it with visual clues that you can relate to. It was a huge, monstrous fish. Unfortunately, 80% of project managers don't do it. You see, the technical interviewer typically has the same or more experience. Therefore, when you share enough details in your answers, it enables the interviewer to compare your experience with theirs. Also, they can now relate to the real-world challenges you face on such projects. They did the same projects as you. And you can talk about them, you can discuss the challenges, and they can assess your skills objectively. And some of you may think right now, but that's actually a good strategy to obscure your real experience when it's not that impressive. But listen, interviewers see through it. In any case, you want to display your hard skills, your ability to lead projects, not the environment you worked in. And that leads us to the next strategy that great project managers use in interviews. And if you are not using this strategy already, you are selling yourself short, and it costs you a higher salary and probably impedes your career. Most project managers have this limiting belief that they play a supporting role. That's why you've probably heard that you need to give all credit to your team. But on an interview, it's a completely wrong strategy. What's even worse is that when you talk only about your team's contribution, you position yourself as a weak leader. And it's very subtle. And check yourself. If you always use the we pronouns, for example, we implemented risk management approach, you are selling yourself short. Instead, it's better to use a leadership language technique. Let me explain it. Everything that happens on a project starts with a vision of proper project management, approaches, and tools. And it's your vision. The project team implements this vision and delivers project results. With this in mind, for every problem you solve, decision you make, or any accomplishment in general, you should provide two components. First, you must showcase your strategy thinking and ability to identify problems and solutions. When you explain your achievement or your vision, be specific about the action you actually took, and demonstrate your ability to formulate and define your project management vision on solving a problem. And only after that, you start acknowledging contribution of your team in collaborating and implementing that vision. Here you can also highlight your skills in leadership, empowerment, and delegation. By the way, if you are not sure what skills a great project manager should highlight, check the resources in the video description. But here's the problem. These are powerful strategies that will help you pass an interview. However, if you can't apply them to real-world interview questions, they are totally useless. That's why I recommend you watching this video next. You are going to see how I answer typical interview questions in the real world, word by word. So click the video now, I'm waiting for you there.